Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special secured podcast from Intersec Dubai 2026, where I interview leaders shaping the security market across the Middle East on the show floor. In this episode, I sit down with Ryan Kaltenbaugh from MC Dean, and my key takeaway is that the Middle East is ready for large-scale, engineering-led security integration, especially across critical infrastructure, energy, transportation, and smart city projects. I think you'll enjoy this conversation and everything else we get into. And without further ado, here is Ryan.
Hey, Lee, thanks. Ryan Kaltenbaugh, head sales globally for MC Dean, and glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, appreciate it. So before we jump into 26 and like why Intersec, why Dubai, and the rest of it, I thought what I'd like to do here is just, since it's January, if you could just reflect a little bit, like what's your overall summary and key impressions of 2025? If you had to boil it down to like one thing, what would it be?
Well, I think it's growth, right? I think for me personally, but also for MC Dean and the overall industry, I think we're in a pivotal moment. And I think 2025 was a kind of a launching pad for that across the board. And I think it was a historic year for both me and MC Dean. And I feel like the industry is really at a interesting turning point that we're on the cusp of a lot of acceleration, and glad to be part of MC Dean and be a part of it.
Yeah, no, and it's great to have the opportunity to do this with you in Dubai. For the people that don't know, Ryan and I don't live that far from each other, so it's nice that we have to go 7,000 miles to be able to have a conversation. But so talk to me a little bit, Ryan. So what brought you to Intersec Dubai? What are you hoping to get out of it? What are you showcasing, or the meetings and that? Like, what are you looking for? And if there's anything particularly interesting or innovative at the show that you saw, just give me your overview of like why, what, when Intersec Dubai 2026.
Well, I think as most people know that are in that part of the world, Intersect it's had a lot of growth. I would say exceptional growth over the last 5 years. I'm still waiting to kind of correlate the numbers of attendance, but it almost felt like from an attendance perspective, it was equally as large as ISC West. Well, the layout was a bit different. For us at MC Dean, this was our first time really formally attending Intersect. It was a first for me, a first for many that attended. We had just under about 10 people that attended from MC Dean. I think the primary purpose of us being there was, understanding that region's perspective overall, that we can accelerate our innovation from our existing multinational customers and just organic growth in the region. A lot of great meetings with large end users, but also some level of government regulatory authority as well, understanding the need in the region. And we felt kind of coming out of Intersect with really what we're capable of delivering in the region. So I think leaving Dubai, we're feeling really positive about the potentiality of continuing to growth and support our existing customers while identifying organic growth capabilities in region. But really, it was a very positive experience. Not just saying that, it truthfully said, in that we feel very good in our continued growth and investment around people and assets in the region.
Very cool. So, talk to me a little bit about that. So how important is the Middle East region? Where do you see some of the biggest opportunities, whether it's verticals or technologies? And then like what friction points or challenges do you see that could slow growth, or, how should the industry address them? Or just give me your feel. But first, how important is the region, and where do you see the opportunities?
Well, for us, EMEA overall, we've been in overall Europe for many, many years, and really supporting the Middle East in particular with, Asia Pacific, Europe. We've been in these countries for probably 2+ decades, supporting not only U.S. federal government operations and mission critical support, but really following our multinational, typically high-tech companies into region. So we're already here. We're looking to expand and grow. Probably our biggest vertical growth opportunities for the Middle East in particular, be it Saudi, UAE, GCC overall, Dubai, et cetera. Really critical infrastructure support, energy sector, aviation, just overall transportation, be it ports and rail opportunity. We're doing that work throughout the globe today, especially US. We are really an engineering company that has full end-to-end design build capabilities to support those large, complex, mission-critical, local, defense adjacent type organizations that need that enterprise level support. Enterprise campuses, certainly there's a lot of growth in particular parts of the Middle East around healthcare campuses, mixed use developments. So we're just, well positioned to provide that high level engineering integration services that it kind of lacks really, to be honest, in the Middle East at the probably expectation of those types of users today from what we really validated by our time here in Dubai.
Yeah, no, I could see it walking around the show and talking to different people. I mean, that's
Yeah.
definitely ample opportunity. I guess let me ask you that as, you know, I think this one of your, I mean, my third trip, it's interesting to
Right.
see how things change and the rate of speed, but I've always wanted to know, it's like one of those places people want to go to, a lot of intrigue, a lot of Europeans want to move there, a lot of North Americans want to go there.
Right.
So, does the hype meet the opportunity? Or are they trying to convince themselves that there's a market there? I've asked that question without trying to be provocative, and I've gotten somewhat of a consistent answer. Be curious what your thoughts, like as somebody who's now seen it, and you've heard about it. Does the hype meet the opportunity as far as you're concerned?
I think so. I mean, obviously going into it with a bit of mixed feelings as well, to be fair, some level of optimism. I think really this purpose of this trip this week was to validate our observations, our discussions with existing customers, but also just organic growth opportunities that we're working on and identifying. So I think for us, it was validating with our own eyes and understanding and having these various meetings this week, which was pretty intense and fantastic. But it's just not Dubai, right? It's also broader UAE, it's Abu Dhabi, it's Saudi, it's the broader GCC region. And how do we that trust and enable opportunities? I think there is a weakness in the Middle East for our mature business and how we conduct business. And I think the meetings we had with those various potential end users validated that for us. Working in the Middle East is obviously a bit different than, even Europe or the Americas per se. What did accelerate an excitement for me in particular was just the level of maturity and interest in really doubling down and enabling an advancement, almost so much more than potentially the US in some angles, be it smart cities and truly doing it, investing it, and actually enabling the technology, especially in Dubai. Really, truly having this conversation around, AI enabled type operations, talking about cloud. They're doing that now for video in many spaces, probably more advanced than some local municipal organizations in the United States. So there's a lot there's a lot to unravel in the Middle East. There's a lot of opportunity to learn and engage. And I think we'll certainly be continuing to grow here to support our customers.
That sounds great. Ton of opportunity. You guys are uniquely set up to win in that marketplace, if you would say. So I'm excited to see what you guys do there. If people want to find out more information, what's the best way to get a hold of you to find out more information about the company?
Yeah, I think it's just obviously a big audience on LinkedIn. We're certainly updating the community, building the global community around what MC Dean's doing. Follow MC Dean on LinkedIn or certainly our website going on here at MC Dean. And I'd love to have people follow us and really be part of the growth. We're certainly hiring faster than many. And if you're interested, go to mcdean.com, careers, and plenty of opportunities and needs to hire great talent for not only MC Dean, but the industry to support our customers.
Perfect. All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're busy and you got a lot going on, but
No,
appreciate you bringing this perspective to what's happening in the region, how you see it. It's one thing to hear it from the different manufacturers. It's nice to hear it actually from people that are actually putting the stuff in and working on the ground, getting the stuff done. So thank you very much.
I appreciate the conversation, Lee. You're always fantastic to support the industry, and thanks for what you do as well.
Appreciate it. No, thank you.